Hello, YouTube, and welcome back. Not much has happened since the last video, and in a way, a lot has happened. Trying to think of where to start, and I guess, as always, I'll try to start with the date and time. It's Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, technically Thursday morning, July 6th. 2026, 1:31 a.m. and nope, didn't end up going to any bars, and also didn't end up going to Priscilla's place. By the time I got home with Allison and she kind of got settled in on the couch, I established that she had no idea where her car is. Like, she's assuming it was impounded, but she has no idea. She said she got into it after we got separated, which, God, it's been like a week and a half now. It was not, because it's technically Thursday morning right now, even though it's functionally my Wednesday night. But yeah, her and I got separated Monday before last. Anyway, she said the day after that she made it over to her car and was able to get into it and get some stuff out of it. She's, you'd think I would notice if she was wearing glasses or not. I want to say she was. Yeah, she was asking me for papers to read and stuff, so she must have her glasses on. You'd think I would notice that kind of stuff. And I don't know, for some reason, I just don't. And maybe that's just because my vision is so bad that a lot of faces are really blurry to me these days. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what the status is of Allison and her glasses. I don't know. I do know one thing that she did recover from her car. She's obviously not recovered her cell phone that disappeared the night I went to the hospital to pick her up. And she's also... I'm debating which way I want to go. If I want to go through the... Yeah, I want to go through the strip mall. I'm headed to oh man, I got a check to deposit, and I'm debating which checking account I want to deposit in, my Chase or my Chase or my Wells Fargo. It's regardless, it's the check is not enough. I thought it was going to be like $80. I don't know where the hell I got that number from. I got my last check today from K-Power, and I knew it was only going to be for 4 hours, and yeah, they were true with my hours. I can't say this screwed me out of anything, but taxes still came out of that, and it was like $66. Bust that thing out of my pocket and take a quick peek at it. Yeah, every time I see all these stacked up pallets here, I think I really need to apply for Costco. Because I would love to just have a job this close to home where I can just walk over and stack up wood pallets. I love stacking up wood pallets. Oh, picked like the darkest location trying to read this check. $66.86. Hey, it's something. It's something, and to quote one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and if you get this reference, you can be my friend. In a world full of nothing, it means something. So, anyway, yeah, always a decision. Do I want to go this way, or do I want to walk down 44th Street? I think I'm going to go to Wells Fargo. Oh, and do I want it? Which bank do I want to deposit in? I think I'm going to go to Wells Fargo. Yeah, walking down 44th Street tends to be some kind of sketchy characters along the sidewalk, camping in the bushes. Always makes me a wee bit nervous. And going this way, I've got two renegade security guards that I've had terribly bad encounters in the past with. One of which that got so bad that I have court in I think 10 days. I make sure I don't mess that up and miss out on that court date. God, like I don't have enough shit on my plate. I'm still having to deal with that crap. And the funny thing is that was before I even got the job at the Williams-Sonoma furniture place. So I don't know if that's a testament to holy shit, that was a short-lived job, or a testament to how ridiculously slow the wheels of justice turn at the Phoenix Municipal Court. But obviously one thing the Phoenix Municipal Court doesn't care about is my right to a speedy trial. Anyway, so far so good. I think it's odd that these street lights, there's usually lights. I don't know if y'all can see it in the video. Probably not, because they're not on. But yeah, along this driveway here, there's usually very bright lights. So it's unusually dark right now. I do see some headlights off in the distance there. That is very likely the security guard that I had to run in that I'm having to go to court with. Oh, that might be him there. Some guy bumping some hip-hop. I don't recognize the song, but I'm digging the groove. Anyway, yeah. So I was thinking that check was going to be a little bigger, but no, it's pretty much the amount to expect. I knew it was going to be not be much money and not be a game changer, but I'll take whatever I can get. Still, with all the shit that went down today, I still didn't call Cox, still didn't call SRP. And I think those are both ones that actually have. Those might be ones that have phone representatives all night long, so I might actually call. I might actually try to call them when I get home from depositing my check. I'm walking as opposed to driving because it's actually really nice this time of the morning. It's still warm. I mean, I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's by no means cool, but it's pleasant. I mean, I wouldn't live in Arizona if I didn't like heat to a certain degree. And I'm completely comfortable in my place right now, and I get the thermostat at 78. Where some people, it's like, oh my God, that's so warm. Yeah, 80 degrees is pleasant to me. Just saying. I mean, shoot. Well, I'm generally comfortable with anything under 90. Once it gets over 90, it's like, okay, it's a little warm in here. Once it gets over 100, it's like, okay, it's hot. My breaking point, I've pretty much decided my breaking point's 109. Once it gets into the 110s, I'm like, okay, fuck this. This sucks. But anyway, gosh, what I'll say? What have I been working on since the last video? Well, I don't know if y'all saw my daughter in the distance as I was pulling up, but she's walking with a walker now. That's I got a bit of an explanation from that. Now she's always had issues. Now keep in mind, her mother took her away from me when she was 4 years old. Took her away from me when she was a year and a half old. Took her away from me when she was a year and a half old, and fought so hard to get her back into my life. Got her back into my life around the time she was 2.5-ish. There was definitely a time, a great deal of time between when I was court ordered to have her back and then when I actually got her back, because her mother refused to comply with custody orders, and pretty much all that she was told is, you need to comply, or we'll tell you need to comply again. Her mother just definitely seemed to feel that she was above the law with all that. And anyway, I don't even feel like reliving that. That's like ancient history at this point. But it does have a lot to do with the fact that stuff that's going on with her health now, I don't know anything about it because it was when she was 4. Like, I had good parenting time with her between the ages of 2 and 4. But I didn't handle any of her doctor stuff. She certainly seemed fit then, though. Fit and healthy. I mean, she didn't wear glasses then. She didn't wear, she was a rambunctious little kid. And very incredibly intelligent and articulate. One of our favorite places to go was the Arizona Science Center planetarium. And we would sit in and watch shows for much older kids, shows that were geared towards like 11 and 12 years old, and she fully comprehended them. And we got a star chart from them, and we would go out at night and find constellations in the sky, and that's not something that your average 2 or 3-year-old does. So, what all happened when she was with her mom, I between the ages of 4 and the ages of 14, I hardly saw her whatsoever. I don't want to get into too much of that because there's a whole lot more to cover that's not ancient history, and I'm dang near to the bank. But yeah, when I got her back I used to get random pictures sometimes. So I mean, I definitely noticed when the pictures first started including glasses, and she was probably about 8 or 9, when that happened. But yeah, when I got her back into in my life when she was 14, after her mother committed suicide, and I found out in a rather odd way. Well, speaking of things in an odd way, there's like somebody's mail just. There's mail just wedged in there. That's peculiar. I'm not gonna touch that. I mean, I guess I touched it, but I'm not moving it. I can't explain that. That's weird. Anyway, when I got her, she definitely had, pretty bad vision, pretty thick glasses, which, her mother had atrociously bad vision. I had amazing vision at that time. My vision has just gone to shit in recent years, which I was warned by an optometrist back when Allison was a newborn, and I was covered by her mom's vision insurance through her employer Intuit software, that she I was told that my vision, that I could expect, that my vision was, he said I basically had Superman vision. My vision was way beyond 20/20. In fact, I had to get out, do some additional tests and get out some additional charts, and was just bewildered at the amount of specific detail I could pick out in these tests and texts that, like, I was reading microscopic text. He's like, this is wow. Just wow. And that certainly made a lot of things clear. The things that I honestly, until that point in my life, I didn't realize that my vision was different than that of normal people. I thought everybody saw the world the way I saw the world. And I think a lot of people kind of think that. That's a pretty normal thing to think. But no, that explained why I could see street signs and addresses as a cab driver in the dark and at such a great distance, and how I could read texts on paperwork from across the room and things of that nature, and read the tiniest print on CD pamphlets and liner notes and things I collected. And but yeah, I was warned that overstimulation in my eyes, and my eyes being like that, would cause them to fail when I reached my early 40s, which was kind of scary news to get in my early 30s. But And now I'm kind of approaching my mid-50s, and my vision is shitty. I know it is what it is. But I cope for the most part. The cope was kind of difficult early this morning, late last night at HelloFresh. So I didn't really go into detail too much of how work was last night, but I started on kind of one task, and then I got going on a different task, and I got going on a third task. The first task that I did was called kitting, as in Kitting, which I guess could be defined as the act of making kits, because that's what HelloFresh sells, is kits for making meals. I enjoyed that. As much as that was mundane, just boring ass labor, I enjoyed it. I enjoy simple, repetitious tasks. I tend not to burn out on it. A lot of people, that's just, mind-numbing, miserable job. But for the most part, I do enjoy that kind of thing. All right, I'm going to be right back. I got to deposit my check. And I'm back. Well, damn, I was down to like $34 in there. Still a little less than $100 on my balance. That's scary numbers, but at least I'm not overdrawn. Check this out. Let's Fargo. Meet Fargo, your new virtual assistant in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Yeah, I never asked for anything like that. I never wanted anything like that. And interestingly enough, I inadvertently found that, but I didn't know what the hell it was. In fact, wasn't that picture? I saw another thing promoting it inside the bank the other day. And I do use the Wells Fargo app on a regular basis. The Chase app, I still haven't been able to figure out how the hell to get into it. Haven't had time to go to a Chase bank to sort that out. But my Wells Fargo password is very ingrained in my brain. I got that one down. And it's kind of the main reason I put it in that check account, because I can keep a whole lot better tabs on that checking account. The other one's sitting at $20 even. And I was right. They did just do a little transfer from my savings. I no longer have a Wells Fargo savings. I don't know if y'all caught that episode of the vlog, but yeah, at one point they decided they were going to start charging a monthly service charge. That looks sketchy. They'll start charging a monthly service charge for the privilege of having a savings account that I've had since the...
Thank you so much. Hey, are you hungry?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Right.
For a Wells Fargo savings account that I've had since... I want to say that I've had since the 90s, but the reality is more like... I forget what year I reopened that account. But at any rate, I've had it for ages. What the fuck is up with a service charge on a savings account? That makes no fucking sense. The whole purpose of a savings account is just to have a place where you can stick money and theoretically save it and theoretically have it build by earning interest. And at this point, like, savings accounts are a fucking joke. The amount of interest that a savings account earns is absolutely minuscule compared to the amount that money just shrinks in value due to inflation and the current just crap rate of inflation, which, to be fair, apparently slowed down in the last year compared to the 2 years before. But still, like, it's like... Even like, I think inflation now is at like 6% or something. So yeah, let's get like 1.5% interest on money that shrinks at 6%. Yeah, that just doesn't math at all. I mean, that just oh, look, there goes a... Oh no, that's a Waymo. I was thinking that was a cruise. That was a Waymo. Yeah, that just doesn't math. That just doesn't math. But I maintain the savings account just because I've had it for years. And then at one point I noticed I was getting a service charge, and I don't remember how much the service charge was. I mean, it's not as bad as the $25 a month service charge I was finding for my legacy free account at Chase. I lost a lot of money on that before I realized that shit was going down. I don't know how much I lost on the fucking bullshit savings account at Chase. I just at fucking Wells Fargo, but I just closed that shit down. And I get why some of my friends refuse to bank at all, because they're fucking shysters. But it's really weird. Like, now there's all these additional service charges that didn't used to exist, but then other charges where they used to get you, like for being overdrawn or everything, they're a lot more forgiving with that stuff. So it's kind of weird how those things have shifted over the years. But yeah, I eliminated my out of that service charge. It just made 0 sense for me to maintain my savings account at Wells Fargo, and that was quite some time ago. I don't remember exactly when, but that was many months, several months ago. The Chase thing was just within the last month or two. In fact, it was after I started working at the Williams-Sonoma Furniture Warehouse. I remember it was one of those sweaty, miserable days of me trying to come home and trying to go into Costco, and the gas car is not giving me gas. I'm like, oh, fuck me. And that was a difficult day. That banker, though, way out on the west side, I have no reason to go that far west now, but that guy was like a saint. And he did get the account closed and was able to refund. Actually, you know what? He's not the one who closed that, come to think of it. It was one of the bankers there at that Chase, right here, over at Arcadia Crossing. The Arcadia Chase, actually, that's not the Arcadia Chase. The Arcadia Chase is further north. That's the Arcadia Crossing Chase. But yeah, he was the one who got that. Anyway, pretty recent activities. But yeah, as I had mentioned before, I ended up being right that what happened was they pulled. And I said I was overdrawn like $6. I was actually overdrawn like $3 and change. And I don't know what's in that savings account, but I know it's not much. But at least there was enough to make that little $3 transfer happen. And I deposited my last $20 cash $20 bill in my pocket into the bank. So $20 sitting in that account, about 98 or something like that. Now that I added my last paycheck in my Wells Fargo account, and that's kind of scary because I still owe Cox about $100. My electric bill's a little over $100. But the big scary one is I think I need to, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I better get on top of that. They're gonna try to do a what do you call it, a auto payment from my Chase to my Costco credit card for like $260. And that $20 isn't going to cover it. Sometimes they let things go a little bit higher and just let it float, but there's no way in hell Chase is going to float that. I mean, I could do a cash advance. A banker showed me a while back how to use in fact, now it's all coming back to me. When I renewed my insurance, that's how I was able to renew my insurance on my car. Is I did a cash advance, and I'm still paying an additional higher rate of interest on some of that, which is weird. You think by now I'd have that paid off. Apparently I'm not making enough progress in the, yikes, sidewalk is blocked. Yeah, that's why I didn't walk up 44th Street. That's why I walked up through the shopping center. Yikes. And what do I even say about that? It's just, it's frustrating, and on the same token, I'm thankful that I'm not one of them, and I'm thankful that at least tonight my daughter is not one of them. She's crashed out on the couch. Wow. And a step over and around homeless people just walking down the sidewalk. Where the fuck was I? Oh, so yeah, that's when one of the bankers taught me. Or, the banker didn't teach me how to do it. I think somebody walked me through it on the phone. The bankers didn't know how to do it. Go figure. Yeah, somebody walked me through it on the phone from the Wells Fargo credit card department, and I did like a cash advance, which went right into my checking account, was available immediately. I could do that, but that just, I don't know. I mean, if I have to do that, I hopefully I can just work with my creditors, and I don't know. I'm going to get through this. I mean, I got some money coming from last night's shift at Winolo. Need to get a hold of Greg, see if he still wants to purchase that Laserdisc player from me. Allison today told me about, she's been, I guess, in and out of the Human Services campus quite a bit, and Cass Shelter as well, since we parted ways a week and a half ago. And she hasn't actually, she said she did get a new Obamaphone and managed to get it stolen from her already. I made her cry when we were driving back. And we didn't drive directly back. We went to a CVS. She wanted to go to the CVS on 44th Street, and we got there and the pharmacy was closed, and my car overheated when we pulled in there. That was fabulous. Yeah, my car sometimes, the overheating situation is getting worse, and the higher temperatures we're going through right now are not helping. So, she kind of made her cry, but it just, listening to her arguing with the pharmacist, and that pharmacist at this point had been there a good 8 minutes after his shift was over, and he should be closed and getting out of there. So I feel his pain. But I guess she was wanting him to print something out that was super big that he didn't have time for. And, instead of being like, hey, thank you for staying open a little bit later and filling my prescription, she's just like arguing with the guy. What is it with women that makes them feel they have the need to argue like that? Priscilla does that shit too. It's like every woman I know does that shit. Arguing with the guy about, oh, you're judging me and blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, I'm not judging you. You asked about, I guess at this point she's getting on methadone, which that's something that makes me cringe just thinking about it. But if that's what it takes to get her off of fentanyl, then that's what it takes. I really would like to see her get into an inpatient residential rehab, but she seems to be trying to take some positive steps, and she's back home, and God knows I'm thankful for that. But yeah, she was arguing with the guy, and at one point she said to me, she goes, well, I can't seem to line up transportation, blah, blah, blah. I forget the transportation company. It's one of those vehicles that I've seen going in and out of the zone. I don't think that guy's waiting for the bus. Going in and out of the zone. One of the I forget what the heck it's called, but I know I've commented on when I see it that it's like, yeah, it's one of those transportation companies provides transportation services. I asked her if she's managed to get a monthly bus pass. She said no, they're really stingy with that. She hasn't found anybody who's willing to come off one of those, and I'm like, damn. But yeah, there's that transportation services. Apparently, it's really difficult to deal with, and I wish I could remember the name of it. It's not VEO, it's like CBM or CBI or some shit like that. Anyway, she was saying, oh, well, I tried to get that, and I can't seem to get it to work or whatever. She goes, I've been having difficulty with getting them to bring me to the methadone clinic. And I don't know how it works and how they assign people to clinics and where those clinics are and whatnot. But she said that in order to get her, I want to say fix, but her medication, I guess that's considered medication, she needs to go to 28th Drive in Cactus. Well, she said 28th Avenue in Cactus, and of course I had to pipe in that there's no such thing as 28th Avenue in Cactus. Do you mean 28th Drive in Cactus? She's like, you know what I mean. It's not the same thing. Not the same thing. Anyway, she's like, she had said that, well, the clinic was at a location she couldn't get to from my place on the bus. And which is something I found hard to believe. I'm like, I can't imagine a methadone clinic being located in a place so far and remote that you can't, like the warehouse where I was moving furniture, the Williams-Sonoma warehouse. That's a location I can't get to on the bus. But I couldn't imagine a methadone clinic being. They tend to put those in crappy neighborhoods. Crappy neighborhoods tend to have bus service. So yeah, just couldn't imagine that. And she says, well, I went to there's this place I can't get to on the bus. Where is it? Just 28th Avenue and Cactus. I mean, and I'm like, well, do you mean 28th Drive and Cactus? Because there's no such thing as 28th Avenue, Cactus. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, no, that's not the same thing. And that is most definitely a place you can get to. It's actually quite easy to get to from my place on the bus. And she goes, oh. I said, yeah, from my place, you take the route 44 south to the light rail, take the light rail westbound all the way to the end of the line at Dunlap, and then from there you can transfer directly to the Route 122. The Route 122, which is the Cactus bus, will take you straight there. It goes up 19th Avenue, turns, goes down Cactus, takes you right to 28th Drive. She goes, well, I guess you know a lot better than Google. I'm like, well, I've memorized the bulk of the transit system. So you can also use the Valley Metro app. And then, of course, you get on the tangent, on what phone? Like, it's not my fault she's hanging out with scumbag type people that steal phones. Like, hang on to that shit. My God, how many phones are you going to lose in a month? At least my problem isn't losing phones these days. My problem is breaking phones, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it was kind of, at that point, she's like, well, you're judging me. And I'm not judging you. I said, I'm just trying to point out where you're fucking up. I said, when you hang out with bad people, bad things happen. So I had the same problem when I was young, and I had to learn that you don't, I mean, like I was telling the story the other day about how when I lived in Cheyenne, I'm just so desperate to have a friend that I let this guy move into my place, and he ends up like taking my car while I'm asleep and wrecking my car. Dude never fucking took care of that. He just fucked my car up. And I don't think he ever paid his share of the rent either. Yeah, not good people, You need to get to know people and vet them a little bit better before you get close enough for them to steal your fucking phones. Now, I don't know what the whole situation is, but yeah, she got herself an Obamaphone. She's already managed to fucking lose the thing. Not my fault. Now, I am trying to help her out and get her, and so going back through, that's one thing I'm loving about the fact that I've been doing this vlog is, going back through and watching some of the old ones and listening to them. Yes, I probably spent about 2 hours this evening listening to myself talk. Okay, that just makes me sad. Not only do we have litter going on here. Oh, it's so dark. Probably y'all can't see it. I don't know any way to turn on the flash on this while it's functioning. Oh, I got it to go. My screen is just about dead on my iPhone. Now you can see it. Yeah, somebody's tagged this reasonably new bus bench. He's tagged it, and homeless people left all this garbage on it and cardboard on the ground. Fucking hate that shit. If the homeless population could just camp with the leave no trace philosophy of the Boy Scouts, instead of leaving fucking trash everywhere and tagging shit up, probably people wouldn't be bothered by them so much. Then again, I just had a couple apparently homeless people offer to share pizza with me. And honestly, if I wasn't vlogging, I might have took her up on that. And I'm not even hungry. It's just how I was hungry because I probably wouldn't look homeless. But Because who else walks in Phoenix, right? Anyway, everybody else drives these big, gaudy, disgusting-ass trucks. Holy shit, that's ugly. What a great thing to do with your front yard, right? Just a big old thing on your dirt. Another big old thing on the dirt. It's just classy front yards on these houses here. Although I'm not gonna lie, I do dig the old Beamer. PT Cruiser. You know, it's funny. I think there's actually a law that makes it illegal to park on a front yard like that or on dirt like that. And it seems like that's something I used to get fucked with when I lived on the house back in the 90s on Sweetwater off of 35th Avenue. And I had my taxis and sometimes had extra vehicles parked. I didn't even have them parked across the front yard. I had a reasonably nice front lawn, but I had dirt on the side and I'd park off my cement driveway onto the dirt. And it seems like I got a citation from the city for that. This is funny how just the city picks and chooses what laws they want to enforce and where, you know, not doing anything about all those people parking unsightly on their front yard because, hey, it's 44th Street and 44th Street's ugly anyway. Anyway, shit like that frustrates me. But yeah, you know, that woman that asked me for pizza, she wasn't with my bad vision, she looked pretty good. I wasn't vlogging and I was walking alone. I think I might have stopped and got me some pizza. And the question is, where am I walking to? I passed out a while ago. Yeah, all I have at home to drink is bottled water, which I'm kind of tired of, and Mountain Dew, which the last thing I need to be doing is getting caffeinated right now because I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some stuff with Allison as we both try to help each other navigate some of these crappy-ass programs. You know, one thing we were talking about when we were having dinner over at the Andre house, I still can't believe I ran into her at the Andre house. That was so unexpected. You know, and I didn't even recognize her at first, which was like, that girl skinny enough might be my kid. Oh, fucking A, it is. Of course, the walking with the walker is what threw me for a loop. Well, I'm hearing voices coming from the dark depths of the edge of the CVS. Oh yeah, there's somebody over there. This area never used to be this sketchy when I moved here. Here we got another shopping cart full of fucking garbage. Oh, looks like we got two of them. No people, just shopping carts full of garbage. Somebody attached a stolen milk crate to that one so it could hold more garbage. So classy. Oh, and I can hear gunshots in the distance. That's great. Yeah, once I got Allison home and settled, I sent a message to Priscilla asking her if she'd made any progress with trying to locate Allison's car, and didn't get an answer to that. Didn't get an answer of any of my requests for a little sexual healing either. So, although she did send me a rather interesting perspective picture of her legs and feet in like one of those water massager foot soaker thingies. Wait. I just like hitting the button. Yeah, anyway, I don't know, sometimes Priscilla goes to sleep at early old lady hours, which is kind of ridiculous considering that it's not like she works that early in the morning, but I don't know. That is what it is, and I'm not too thrilled with it. kind of feel like last Thursday was just a matter of her needing me to scratch an itch, and I scratched it, and now she's good. God knows how long she'll be good for, but I'm not good. I'm like, I'm still a fully functioning adult man. I need more than that. Anyways, back to Andre House with my daughter, and we were talking about how she had mentioned something to me about how some caseworker or something she was dealing with today was judging her. And I gave that some credence, and I'm like, yeah, well, fuck her, and whatever. Although the way she lashed out at that pharmacist, and that pharmacist was being exceptionally kind and helpful, and Allison was just being shitty to him. Like, get off your... Not everybody's judging you, but you're doing a whole lot of stuff worth being judged over. So own your bad behaviors, and mind over matter. Make a point to not mind, and remember they don't matter. Just thank the man for helping you and getting your prescriptions when he could have said, "No, we close in 10 minutes," and it's just too late. Can't help you, And I ended up driving her all the way to, I said my car overheated pretty bad when we went to the CVS right over there, the one where the kind of sketchy person was hiding in the shadows next to it. When we went there, I wonder what's going on here. This whole pad's got a temporary chain link fence around it, and there's a porta potty inside it. Kind of makes me wonder whether they're getting ready to maybe build something on that pad, or if this is just an effort to stop people from camping right there. Could be either of those things, or something else. I think I hear gunshots off in the distance in that direction. Of course, could just be leftover July 4th firecrackers. Anyway, so yeah, we're having dinner at the Andre House, and she comments that this woman was judging her. And it kind of made me think of how the difference between the first DES worker that I had last Friday and then the one that I had on Monday. The one that I had on Friday, she was super, super sweet and super helpful. Now, I'm not saying the one that I had on Monday didn't help me, because she did. And as I'd stated in a previous video, she solved some issues. The biggest one being that I didn't qualify for benefits on the day that I applied on Friday, because that was creating a complication in the system, because I earned too much money with K-Power that month. But that I have zero income right now, and because that check was already issued at that time. I just now deposited. I just recently got it, but it was actually issued last Friday, which was actually the day I was there. They're like, "Oh yeah, the last check was issued today. He's not getting any more payment." I don't smoke. I can't afford that.
Sure.
I hate strangers who ask me for cigarettes. Fucking 7-Eleven sells them, and if you can't afford to buy them, you can't afford to smoke. Get the fuck over it. I don't smoke cigarettes. Can't afford that shit. I ain't got enough money to just be lighting that shit on fire. So anyway, smokers just fucking disgust me. Anyway, wow, what an amazing renovation they did on that building. It's the first time I've really walked by and got a good look at it. When I drive by, I'm passing by it so fast and I'm watching traffic. And usually as I'm trying to make that quick right over in the 143 South. It's hard to believe that's the same building. That building was not really nice a year ago. No idea what it is that's in there, but I like what they did with it architecturally. Of course, it's got a big old security fence on the front, because got to keep those creepy guys that ask strangers for cigarettes from going up and vandalizing the nice new building. Anyway, But yeah, I told her how, and the DES worker that I dealt with on Monday was helpful. But at one point she started grilling me, and I felt like she was kind of, I don't know if she was judging me, but it just felt like she was grilling me about, well, so she's looking at my case file, and of course I gave them the information of, how much my bills are, my rent and my monthly electric bill and my insurance. And most of that stuff I was able to pull up, through the Wells Fargo Banking Act and give her some exact numbers, because they figure car insurance, they do it by the month. And I said, well, I prepay 6 months. That's not due for a while. She's like, well, how much did you pay for 6 months? We'll just divide that by 6. But she did. And anyway, so it comes out like, I got bills. And that one, well, if you don't have income, how are you paying those bills? And I'm like, I'm not. Getting behind on him as we speak. And it just seemed like such an asinine question to ask. And I think what she was getting at was trying to get me to say that I should say that I had some kind of other income coming in that I wasn't claiming. Because I guess her job basically is to not qualify people to get, to try to disqualify people for those programs. Honestly, I would just love to see all those bureaucrat jobs, all those jobs eliminated. If all the money that was spent on those salaries and all that overhead and administration of those programs, and the money was just given away to everybody, it just seems like that would be so much more functional. I know, yeah, that's socialism. I know I'm very much capitalist and not in favor of socialism, but there needs to be some kind of safety net. The system is fucking broken right now. It's just straight up fucking broken. So I was commenting to Allison about that, and I'm like, I said, it's so crazy. It's like, I'm just trying to get some help with some food right now to float me so I make it through this month. I said, got job interviews. I think I just got hired at a place today. I don't know for certain. But, I had 3 other places I was allegedly hired at last week. I said, and I'm hopefully able to get some more temp work through Winolo. Going to have a direct deposit coming soon from last night at HelloFresh. It's something. I said, but it's so crazy. It seems like there's all these programs, but they're not down to help you until you absolutely hit rock bottom and have lost everything. And she's like, oh yeah, that's the way it works. And then by the time you've lost everything, it's just next to impossible to navigate all these assistance things. Anyway. And we were coming back. So anyway, I told her about, well, that's how it's not hard to get to that methadone clinic from my place. That's how you do it. 1 bus, 1 rail, 1 bus. I mean, yeah, it's going to take a while. But she said, I think she said it took her something like 3 hours to get there with whatever transportation service that she's getting through CAS, CBM or BCI or whatever the hell it's called. It's a private transportation service. I'm sure most of that is just waiting for them to show up. Because I know when I was at the Frank Garcia Welcome Center, I don't know, maybe the first day when I went back to see if I'd lost my ID there, or maybe the day after that when I was waiting for them to help me with my birth certificate, help me, get a replacement for my birth certificate, one of them days. But anyway, yeah, she, there was a guy that was in there that was just getting all hysterical about and just angry about, hey, when are they going to show up? When are they going to show up? I've been waiting, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure the guy had been waiting that long. Because my take on that is, that's a free transportation service that you're getting provided by somebody else. If you're not going to be patient enough to wait for that shit to show up, then fucking walk or take the bus. Or just fucking patiently wait. Don't be a fucking asshole when people are trying to help you. Anyhow, and I tell you, if we're going out together and doing stuff tomorrow, she needs to check herself, because the way she was with that pharmacist was completely unacceptable. It made me embarrassed to be sitting near her. Well, anyway, when I said, that, and she's like, I guess you know better than Google. I'm like, well, no. And she's like trying to make it about not having a phone. I'm like, well, at this point, you don't need a phone because I've told you what routes you need to take. Just remember them and go. And then, of course, she's just making more and more excuses why she can't do it. But the one that she hung up on is like, but if I ride the bus, if I ride the train, I'm going to encounter somebody that's going to ask if I want some dope, and I won't, and then I'll don't be, it defeats the purpose of going and get the methadone. I'm like, well, if somebody offers you that stuff, you just simply say no. The answer is no. Well, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Anyone can do that. She started crying. You just don't understand. Am I the only one who listened to Nancy Reagan? Just say no. It's not that fucking hard to say no. It's like when I ask women if they want to go to bed with me. They just say no. It doesn't seem to be that difficult.